What's a mildly horrifying fact not everyone knows? The United States has lost at least 6 nuclear weapons since 1950, and my wife would find them in a place they swore they looked. Hurricane Erin was on a direct path towards the northeast coast in early September 2001. It made a sudden turn in the Atlantic away from the US. If it hadn't turned, it could very well have hit the East Coast on 9/11, which would have grounded flights on the East Coast and prevented, or at least delayed, the 9/11 attacks. The Tasmanian devil is currently facing extinction due to a virus called the devil's facial tumor disease. It's a form of cancer with a unique, terrifying difference to most others. It's contagious. Have you ever thought about how whales and dolphins die when they get old and aren't strong enough to swim to the surface anymore to breathe? They start to slowly sink to the cold, dark depths of the ocean and suffocate. Shredders. One of the proteins in your brain can misfold at any time and cause a prion disease, and we have no clue why. There's such a thing as hair splinters. Hairdressers deal with it all the time. After cutting particularly coarse hair, the small pieces can stick in you like a splinter and pose risk of mega infections if you're unable to get them out. I've seen a stylist friend of mine lose a whole finger due to one tiny sliver of hair. Thinking about it cause of another thread I was in. If you have lots of spiders, that means there's also lots and lots of insects. You could die at any point in time from a brain aneurysm. You're just doing whatever and you fall over dead. Blood from horseshoe crabs is harvested. They are literally hooked up to and forth, so to speak, and their blood is drained. Their blood has an important property in detecting even extremely low levels of microbial contamination. It is an extremely important thing in the biomedical and food industry, but they are not killed in the process. They're released, so they can be caught again. I'm just picturing a horseshoe crab ball. Are you serious? This is the second time this week I'm going to be late for work. Human. Even if humans could live forever, we could only expect to live about 1,000 years on average, due to the statistical probability of getting into a serious, life-ending accident. In some Jewish sects, if a man wants to convert, he has to get a circumcision, and if he already had one, it is simulated by poking the head of his penis with a pin. Source: know a guy who had to do it. In South Africa, there is a superstition that having sex with a virgin will cure HIV/AIDS, so people have been known to seek out young people, even children, to rape and infect. Until 1986, doctors thought that babies couldn't feel pain, so never used anesthetic. While most people know about the Challenger space shuttle explosion, most people don't know that the occupants survived the explosion until they hit the water. Babies in the womb can and do cry, but no one can hear them because their lungs are full of amniotic fluid. Dogs love squeaky toys because the sound mimics small animals' cries of agony after being bitten. People used to rip out the teeth of dead soldiers on battlefields to sell for dentures. Cannibalism isn't illegal in the UK. It would need to be done with permission from the person you'd want to eat. Obviously you can't kill the person to eat them or kidnap them. A billion hours ago, human life appeared on Earth. A billion minutes ago, Christianity emerged. A billion seconds ago, the Beatles changed music. A billion Coca-Colas ago was yesterday morning. Robert Goizueta, seer of the Coca-Cola Company, April 1997. The way to differentiate between a male and female Russian tortoise is to look at the shape of its butthole. A long line-shaped butthole is a male, while a star-shaped butthole is a female. You're welcome. I know a guy whose mom told him there were 3 types of cats, and the way to tell them apart was to look at the butthole. She said there was star-shaped, square-shaped, and circle-shaped. It took him a fairly long time to realize he only ever found the circle-shaped cats. Doctors actually don't know much about the brain. Someone could get a brain injury and they have no idea whether they'll recover or not. They thought they'd have to do a bone graft or amputate my brother's leg, but because of his brain injury he was neurostorming. The storming caused more bone to grow in his femur, so he didn't need the bone graft or have his leg amputated. They didn't think he would recover this far. I've learned in the past 7 months that, as long as someone isn't brain dead, they can recover more than you think. Breast milk is the filtered blood of the mother. Certain proteins are removed, others are added, and the lipids are concentrated. Human breast milk looks like liquid gold under a microscope and can change nutritional content to match the baby's needs in as little as 7 seconds after proper latching. Let's break down these 7 seconds. Baby latches and starts sucking. Mother's areoles absorb the baby's saliva, analyze its nutrients, and send a signal to the mother's brain. Compositions in the breast milk change to make up for whatever the baby is missing. Boobs can do DNA analysis is what I'm saying. Meth can be transmitted anally by pissing into someone's anus while on meth. To anyone wondering, for something like this to even be a known fact enough for someone to post it here, it would have had to have happened enough times to warrant a discussion of it in the first place. This is most likely something that quite a few people have tried. Let that one sink in. Edit. So to the vast majority of people who have never thought about doing drugs this heavy, nor thought about getting fucked up with drugs through your butthole, this is crazy. According to a few people, everyone knows, and it's all common knowledge, that peeing on someone's brown eye when fucked up on meth will get that person high too. And I'm the weirdo for never having this train of thought, nor ever encountering this fact in the wild. During summer, clams and mussels are bigger and juicier. That's because they are going to reproduce soon. That's right, they're big sperm or egg sacs ready to unload. Human blood is almost the same temp and salinity as warm salt water, and barnacles can grow in your body. Priapism. Priapism is a condition in which men suffer from an erection for over 4 hours. The treatment is gruesome, where needles are jabbed into the penis to draw out the stagnant blood causing the condition. If that doesn't work, then a small hole is cut at the top of the penis to drain the blood. It seems the nukes the US accidentally dropped on South Carolina are pretty common knowledge on Reddit, but I hardly ever see people mention the time we literally let a 1 megaton nuke roll off the deck of an aircraft carrier stationed off the coast of Japan. It sank to the bottom, where it was considered too deep to be recovered. There supposedly isn't any danger of it going off, but there is a good chance it's been leaking small amounts of radioactive material. There is a very real possibility that what we think of as a pure vacuum is not in fact a true vacuum, and that empty space itself can collapse into a lower energy state. This would result in a catastrophic and spontaneous outburst of energy that would expand outward at the speed of light, not only vaporizing everything it touches, but fundamentally changing the laws of space-time in such a way that it is entirely possible no matter could ever exist again. We could be doomed to an instant death by a light-speed energy wave heading towards us right this minute, and we wouldn't know. Death would occur more quickly than our brains could register. We would all simply cease to be, and the entirety of human history, all of our glories and achievements rendered meaningless. In the military, your chemical suit isn't designed to save your life. It's designed so you can live long enough to finish your mission. So you're telling me my CBRN gear from the 1980s that doesn't make an airtight seal anywhere but the mask isn't gonna save me from a modern chemical attack? Day officially ruined. Paleontologists have found tons of human skulls with holes in them. Ancient doctors used to think that headaches or migraines were caused by bad spirits in the skull, so they would cut a hole to let them out. They have even found skulls that showed signs of healing, meaning they lived. The percentage of skulls they have found like this is higher than the percentage of people with red hair now. When male otters are, I guess, horny IDK, they will have intercourse with an otter that is still growing without consent, and it ends up killing them, and that will carry the corpse around. If they have the need again, they do the child corpse. If the spiders in Denmark took to eating people instead of insects, the entire Danish population would be gone in about 3 days. Stay safe, my Danish friends. Why in the world would you single us out for this fact? In the Czech Republic, there is a church called the Sedle Ossuary that has decorations made entirely of human bones. This happened because there were too many people in the cemetery to bury everyone, and the church leaders claimed that if their bones became part of the church, it only made them closer to God. Nice propaganda spin there, guys. Jurassic Park is technically a porn film because of the sounds of the dinosaurs in the film were made with turtles having sex. Edit. It's mainly the raptors, you know, those creatures chasing those damn kids. Ender pearls are Enderman's balls, not eyes. Hence why they only sometimes drop them. That awesome smell of freshly cut grass? It's actually a distress signal that the cut grass is sending out to save it from further injury. The fresh, green smell is the smell of grass trauma. Hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.